Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all California students, sponsored by the College2Career fairs and Strive Scan. Thanks for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements for our attendees before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists and I cannot see you or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at college2careerfairsconnect.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, college2careerfairsconnect.org. I would now like to turn it over to our presenters.
Good evening, students. My name is Patrick Butler, and I am actually an admissions counselor at Pennsylvania College of Technology. We've got a great session lined up for you this evening, joined by some colleagues from really across the country. I think we're spanning most of the time zones at this point. I'm on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. My colleagues from Missouri and Iowa and Montana with me tonight. And we're here to talk about STEM. It's a really big, exciting buzzword that I feel like students are always interested in. I want to go into a STEM field or a STEM career. And I'm hoping through this session, we're able to kind of demystify STEM. So I'm going to start with that. Science, technology, engineering, and math. It's important to define what we're talking about, right? And these degrees in this particular area really provide cross-industry opportunities. They really touch so many different areas that have significant impact on the world. Throughout pursuing a STEM degree, you'll learn how to solve tomorrow's problems today. And you're going to do that hands-on. And not only yourself, but you're going to learn how to do it alongside a team, which is a really important piece of working in an engineering particular capacity. Earning a STEM degree really does prepare you to obtain a really fulfilling and I'll say well-paying job after you finish college with really significant growth potential. But what is STEM really? So we're going to try and demystify a little bit, and our panel tonight is going to explore this topic in more detail and help talk about some of the opportunities that await you at some of our institutions. So we're going to go across the panel this evening, and I'm actually going to start with my institution, Pennsylvania College of Technology, and then we're going to move to Mackenzie at the University of Missouri, and then Abby at Iowa State, and finally with Suri at Montana Technological University. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and tell you a little bit about Pennsylvania College of Technology and what we have to offer. So Pennsylvania College of Technology has over 100 different degree programs, and these really span quite a diverse portfolio of offerings. These majors are extremely hands-on, and that's what our focus is. We have industry advisory boards that are informing all of our degree programs. So that keeps us on the cutting edge of what employers are really looking for out of their future employees, being hopefully you. In the STEM specific space, we have an entire school dedicated to engineering technologies. It's our largest school on campus, and it really encompasses everything from automotive technology through automated manufacturing, information technology, as well as robotics and mechatronics. You'll get into also some of the other areas such as diesel technology, plastics and polymer engineering. So some of those real in-depth engineering degrees. One thing I'll really encourage you to do as you're looking at schools is to not only, of course, you're going to focus on a particular degree program of interest, but you want to sort of peel back the layers and look behind, okay, well, what does a mechanical engineering degree actually get me? Or what is a plastics and polymer engineering technology degree actually get me? So that'll be a real key thing for you to look at. Our college has a very high placement rate. So 97% of our graduates are getting jobs according to this slide. I'll actually be very upfront that this slide's out of date as of yesterday because it's now 98%. So our placement rate means these students are getting jobs as soon as they graduate. Many of our students actually earn a job before they even graduate from our program. And the reason that's happening is because students are getting a significant amount of time in over 150 learning labs across campus. We keep our class sizes really small, And that allows students to have a significant amount of interaction with the faculty who all have real world working experience in their particular area of expertise. So we're organized in 3 academic schools. As I mentioned, engineering technologies is our largest school, and that's where you'll find the bulk of our STEM-focused degrees. However, we are also offering programs in business arts and sciences, which is where you'd find some programs like culinary arts technology, as well as in business administration and accounting. In our nursing and health sciences school, you're going to find programs in nursing and healthcare, and that's where all of our science programs really live. So if you want to go into the field of working in a big pharmaceutical setting, working in a laboratory environment, our Bachelor's of Health Science would be something very unique to pursue. You'll see some images here on the screen of some of our programs as well. A little bit other tidbits about our institution. We are about 5,000 students, and we're located in a town called Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Puts us about 3 hours to the west of Philadelphia and 4 hours to the north of Washington, D.C. So we're not too far from those major metros, and we do actually have an airport in our little town as well. So it's very easy to get in and out of our town. So that's a little bit about us, but I'm going to hand the mic over to one of my colleagues here, Mackenzie, to talk about University of Missouri, and then I'll be back with you in a little bit. So Mackenzie, you are welcome to share your screen and take it away.
All righty. Thank you so much, Patrick. Get my screen up here. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So I'm Mackenzie. I'm a representative of the College of Engineering at the University of Missouri. So really focused on the E component of STEM at the University of Missouri. Just like a little bit of an overview of the university. We are located in Columbia, Missouri. It's a town about 100,000 people, right smack dab in the middle of the state. So about 2 hours from Kansas City, 2 hours from St. Louis. The university itself has over 300 different degree programs. You're going to see most of those STEM programs within the College of Engineering, the College of Agriculture, Food and Natural Resources, and possibly our Health Professions College as well. Within the College of Engineering, we have 10 different majors. Probably our most popular degree program will be mechanical engineering. We have computer science is a very strong program as well. And also our biomedical engineering program as well. A typical student will spend 4 years at our campus pursuing an engineering degree. All of our classes are taught with a hands-on component. And we also partner with the theater program to really integrate creative thinking into all of our degree programs and all of our classes. So really teaching our students with kind of that STEM-based critical thinking element and really teaching them to think outside of the box, which is really unique. Mizzou is a very collaborative place as well. So you'll have the chance to interact with students in the business school, with our journalism school, and all across campus. We are a large school. We have about 30,000 students on our campus, with engineering being one of the larger programs with a little over 3,000 students. You can see the breakdown there, 3,242 engineering students. So one of the larger programs. We do really work with our students in our Career Services Center to make sure that you're being educated about the different pathways that you can take out after your time at Mizzou and with our College of Engineering. We do have a 93% successful career outcomes rate. So that includes students getting jobs, joining the military, but also going on to grad school. And that can definitely be an option for our students. We're a top tier Research One institution, meaning research is all across the board in every single major on our campus and definitely within the College of Engineering. We encourage students to actually participate in research starting out their freshman year. So it might be something a little bit different than other large public institutions. None of our programs are impacted. So once you apply to Mizzou, if you're accepted into your major. A couple other things just to list: tuition per year. We have a really great residency program as well for students to establish in-state tuition after their freshman year. can always be something that you can look into. Please reach out to us to connect. I'm definitely more engineering focused, but we have a little bit of everything on our campus to pursue that STEM degree. And I'm going to pass it on to Abby with Iowa State to talk a little bit about her degree program.
Thank you, Mackenzie. All right, I'll go ahead and get started with, first off, where is Iowa State located? We are in the heart of the Midwest in Ames, Iowa. We're gonna be the largest school in the state of Iowa with about 33,000 students. We have all 50 states represented. So coming from California to Iowa, you are not alone, and over 115 different nations. So students all across the globe coming to be at Iowa State as well. We have 100 different majors at Iowa State. So just about anything you would want to study, we are going to have it. And just like Mizzou, we're going to be one of those tier 1 research institutions, which means we have a lot of research going on our campus, which just means tons of opportunity for you to get involved with that research, because that's your professors that are doing it on our campus. So something really exciting, especially for my STEM-based majors here with me today. But let's get started with talking about some engineering programs that are STEM-based at Iowa State, and then I'll touch on a few other STEM-based majors as well. Our College of Engineering is really well known and popular with our California students. We have a great reputation for engineering. Now, 14 majors you can see on the screen right now, and the minors are listed as well. There's 9,000 students just within these majors alone. Biological and agricultural engineering are typically always ranked top 3 in the entire nation. Mechanical engineering on that list is going to be the most popular major that we have within the College of Engineering. Environmental engineering is brand new this year, so we're really excited about that one. And I'd also like to highlight the aerospace engineering. That one's a little more rare and you don't see it as often across the country. And something that's really nice, if you're looking at this list right now and you're like, I have no idea what I even want to do, you can be open option within the College of Engineering. So meaning you're still an engineer, you're getting to take all those classes, but still gives you a little bit more time to figure out which one of those 14 is the best fit for you. Something else I would like to note here is when you declare your major and your college coming in day 1, your freshman year at Iowa State, you are directly admitted into your college and directly admitted into your major. So from the get-go, you're starting your study, no wait time. Another fun fact with our College of Engineering is we have the largest career fair, one of the largest career fairs in the entire nation. So career fairs are where employers are coming to hire our Iowa State grads, and people from all across the country come to this fair, and there's over 1,400 employers coming to that event every year. So we are super proud of that, and just goes to show the reputation that Iowa State has nationwide for our graduates. Something else to note is there's tons more of STEM majors. And most of those are going to be in our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. So computer science, chemistry, biochemistry, psychology, pre-med, math, all of the above. We have just about everything that you could be interested in. One nice thing that I do want to note is to talk about what is a learning community. A learning community is a great way to get you connected. So coming from California all the way across the country, you want to know that you're going to have your home, and being involved in a learning community is a great way to do that. A learning community is going to be about 10 to 15 students, major based, so based upon your major, and you're all going to have the same set of core classes, and you're all going to live on the same floor in your residence hall. So it's a really great way for you to feel connected and build your home at Iowa State. So that would be one of the things that I would encourage you to get involved with at our university. I'll talk a little bit more later in our panel, but just a reminder, when we're doing our questions, we would love to answer questions that you have for any of us, whether that's specific or general to STEM, put those in the Q&A chat so we can answer those soon. But Cherie, you're up next.
Thanks, Abby. So let me just get this up. So hi guys, my name is Serena Nichols and I'm an admissions rep from Montana Technological University. Just a little bit about us is we're the only premier STEM institute in the state of Montana. So we actually have that whole badge. So that's what our main focus and our specialty is. Going to college fairs all across the United States. I always have kids who come up to me who say, my mom's brother or sister had me come talk to you because they know what type of school education we have all across the nation. So we're located in Butte, Montana, so that's Southwest Montana, and we're a relatively smaller campus with our North and South campus, so our 2 and 4 year degrees. That's about 2,500 students total. So that makes our average classroom size about 20 kids. So that makes that more hands-on learning experience, which kind of feeds into some of the things that I have to talk about. Number one, Montana Tech is a really smart investment. We're the #1 return on investment school in the state of Montana and top 50 in the nation. So what that means is the money that you're spending on tuition, which as a California student, if you apply and get accepted, you'll be under the WUI, so you'll be paying about $10,000 per year for tuition. So that money you're putting in, you'll see out because the average starting salary is about $60,000 for any one of our graduates, and we have a 90% acceptance rate over the last 10 placement rate over the last 10 years, and our STEM fields are about they range between 95 and 98 depending on the year of placement rates upon graduation. So that means when people are walking across the stage, they're getting jobs in their field that they want. And part of that is due to our great career fair. Though we are small, we are still very mighty. We have over about 125 employers that pay to come recruit our students every fall and spring. And what they do when they're here on campus is lots of them do internships with our students, and they will talk with you about getting those internships while they're here on campus. And you can start doing that as soon as the summer of your freshman year or starting your sophomore year. So lots of students will end up having 3 to 4 internships, and that's how they get placed and often have more than one job opportunity upon graduation. The second thing I like to mention is just Montana in general. Our location's really great. We're on the corner of I-15 and I-90 where they meet. So you're 15 minutes from any great hiking, biking, fishing. You're 45 minutes from a really great ski hill. We have lots of things on campus that you can get involved with to get outdoors and explore that. I know that's something that our students really appreciate and enjoy, the programming that we have for that. And that kind of leads me into my third thing is we're a culture of determined doers. So what that means is Montana Tech provides a really hands-on education. So part of that is those smaller class sizes. You're with about 20 kids in your class, or at most maybe about 50 kids in some of the more general classes for your gen eds. But you're being taught by professors. A lot of them have worked in the industry or they're adjunct professors, so they are still working in the industry, but come and teach you guys to kind of keep you current and up to date about what's going on in the industry. And then also the opportunities for lab time and things like that. So being taught by those actual professors and undergraduate research. So being from a smaller institution, you can often get into that undergraduate research starting your freshman years, and lots of those are paid opportunities for you. So we have a really great like nanotech lab. We have people who are doing like environmental engineers who are doing research with underground greenhouses in our mine shaft that we have on campus for our mining engineers and things like that. So lots of really cool pivotal things happen on our campus. And also the third thing I want to talk about is cultivating student success. The reason why our students are so successful is just the environment that we provide, the really hands-on environment. Everybody on our campus wants to see you succeed. From our really great tutoring center that works with our students, our engineering and our STEM-based majors especially, we'll go to them and say, these are the sections that we have. We need to have certain study sessions and drop-in sessions for them, as well as specific tutors just for their certain classes, because as we all know, STEM majors can be a little bit rigorous, but we want to make sure that you have all the possible resources to be successful at your time here at Montana Tech, as well as our career services. You can start talking with them. They help you fine tune everything. If they're, say you're going to mechanical engineering and you want to go the aerospace route, they will get you in contact with those aerospace companies and make sure that you have all of the things that you need. So that's just a little bit about Montana Tech. And after you inquire and stuff like that, I just wanted to mention this is kind of what you would be doing. It would be your one-stop shop for Montana Tech. And that's kind of all I have for you guys. So I'm going to turn it over to Abby so we can start our Q&A.
All right, folks, it is time for our panel. So just a quick reminder, we would love to answer the questions that are on your mind. Maybe you're wondering right now, what do I need to be doing in high school to prepare to be a STEM major? Maybe you're wondering, what does it look like after I graduate college to be a STEM major? Put those in the Q&A and we would love to get to those. But today I'm going to start with our first question. And I want to hear a little bit more about, from each university, what do we need to be doing right now as a senior, for my seniors listening, for the application? What changes have made with COVID? When should they apply? And we'll go through all the universities so you can hear each application process for each university. Today, we're going to do it in presentation order, so we'll start with Patrick.
Yeah, it's a good question. So we are actually a test optional school. So we do not require SAT or ACT. So that's one thing you won't have to worry about when you submit an application. We're also not charging an application fee. So from an admissions perspective, those are two things to keep in mind. You know, as far as other changes just regarding the semester, we are actually open as far as on-campus instruction. We're not doing a hybrid model this year. So that's something unique due to our location. Our application is open now, so definitely apply through the Common App or through the institutional application that you can find on our website.
All right, well, I guess I'm up next. So for the University of Missouri, we are accepting applications. We run on a rolling admissions, so you can apply at any time. However, we recommend that you do apply around November 1st. Don't really hold it off past then. Important dates and deadlines will start December 1st. So admissions.missouri.edu. We typically do require an ACT or an SAT. So if you have been able to take that, you'll want to apply and submit your test score. However, we are using test optional this year, where you're able to submit a resume and a personal statement along with your transcript, and you're able to be evaluated that way. So kind of, you know, making some exceptions this year, given the COVID, everything surrounding COVID. So yeah, pretty straightforward. And like I said, admissions.missouri.edu, you can find all the information on there.
Thank you, Mackenzie. For Iowa State, for my seniors in the house today, we are going to be test optional as well. And our application is open. We're rolling admissions just like Mizzou. So anytime in the year you want to apply, you are good to go. You'll also find us on Common App. And for scholarships, don't worry about having taken the ACT or SAT. For my juniors in the house today, do still plan on taking the ACT and SAT, as we have not made announcements for fall 2022. Suri, are you frozen?
I'm no longer frozen, so I apologize, guys. So for admissions at Montana Tech, we are rolling admissions as Iowa State and Mizzou are also, but one thing is we usually do require ACT or SAT scores. However, this year, all you need to do is apply. And if you have a 2.5 GPA or are in the top half of your class, you will apply and get into your degree program of choice. I will say one thing is if you were to take the ACT or the SAT, make sure you provide us with those scores when you apply because we will use them in our scholarship model. And also something to remember is if you apply and get accepted with those two requirements that I talked about with the GPA or being in the top half of your class, you will also be awarded the WUI as something as part of your admission. And then you can get scholarships on top of that, but we will be using the GPA and test model scores for scholarships. So if you were able to take that test, that is something that we can use. However, we can still award those scholarships based on just GPA, but just something to keep in mind when you're going to apply and things like that. So you can actually apply through that page that I showed you. When you inquire, you'll be created a personalized web page, so you can apply on there and it's actually free to out-of-state students. We pay your application fee, or we do have a central app that out-of-state students can do it to apply to any school in the Montana University system. If you do use that application, there is a $30 fee. So.
All right, thank you everyone for sharing. We have a really great question that came in on the chat, and this person would like us to talk about what do we need to do to make sure that we're going to be admitted? What can we prepare to do for the application so we have everything done and good to go so we'll be accepted into the university? So again, Patrick, can you start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in preparing to apply for any STEM program, math is generally a big component of that. So, what I would advise any rising junior in particular, because you've got still another year of high school before you're even going to apply, but even for a senior that's just starting out their senior year, is you really want to pay attention to doing very well in math. So whether that's taking an AP course or at least really honing your math skills, because it's going to be really important for you to be successful in any STEM major. As far as admission to our school, the Pennsylvania College of Technology, we do not have a minimum GPA requirement, but we do require students to meet what we call placement requirements. And those can be demonstrated through submission of an SAT or ACT score or by taking a placement test. There's no sort of pass across the board that I can describe for the placement test, because the placement's going to vary depending on the major that you choose. Some majors are going to be really heavy on the math, and some are not going to be as heavy. Depends on the program that you choose. So my best advice to you to prepare is to really just make sure that that you're getting any additional assistance in math that you may need if you're struggling while in high school, so that you're college ready when you submit that application.
Well, thanks, Patrick. So I would have to kind of agree with the math, making sure that you're able to take any math or science classes, especially if you're looking to go into a STEM based major. All of our students have to take college algebra at Mizzou for the most part, but with engineering, you have to take Calc 1, Calc 2, and Calc 3 for pretty much all of our degrees. So if you want to kind of make sure you're college ready, as Patrick put it, taking math would be a really, really great thing. Kind of already talked about the application process, so we would like to see a test score. It's 24 on your ACT or 1160 on your SAT, and that you've completed the 17 core classes, which is pretty standard for most schools. And then if you do choose to go the test optional route, there's not a minimum GPA requirement. Like I said, a personal statement and a resume. So something else to think about and consider, especially for juniors, is getting involved in some extracurriculars, or if you have a part-time job or anything like that, start kind of writing down your accomplishments or whatever it may be, so you will have a resume prepared and you can be able to submit that to colleges.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I would like to just start off with our acceptance rate is 86%. So pretty high likelihood there to give you a little peace and comfort going through this application process. But I triple echo the science and math comments. As much as you can do will better prepare you for your studies at the university. Kind of same as Mackenzie, we're going to have some core courses completed in high school, but those are pretty standard to what your high school already requires you for your graduation requirements. So no sweat there.
Thanks, Abby. Again, as everybody else reiterated, making sure that you have those core credits, making sure that you are math ready. So typically, before this year, we changed our whole model, not only due to COVID, but that kind of pushed it along. To be math ready, you usually have about a 24 on the ACT portion or like a 560 on the SAT portion. So just to kind of gauge where you are, a lot of our students also ask taking dual enrollment or college courses while in school. That's also something that's important. Some of you juniors or seniors. So if you're available to take those, you can always reach out to any admissions rep and see if those first off transfer and then where they would plug into your curriculum, even with AP tests and things like that. We can always go over anything like that. But I will say one thing that our students always talk about their freshman year of especially engineering is that in some of our like bio and chem majors always talk about how heavy like the chemistry classes, our Chem 141 can be a little bit rough. So I would say if that's something that you're not really thinking about, that's always something to like look into and maybe get a little bit more additional help and making sure that you feel comfortable with those kinds of things and making sure that you enjoy them. A lot of students, I know when they go into a STEM major, they're like, I like it because it has really high presence rate and things like that, but kind of asking yourself what do you like about that sometimes too, is something that's important, because I know we have some students who start in our engineering majors and end up going into our occupational health and safety because it's not as math heavy. So some students actually prefer that and they can still work in a similar field.
All right, we have another question coming in. Thank you for those. Keep them coming on in. We still have a good amount of time to answer questions for you this evening. This one, the person is asking, can you share maybe a comparable institution that would be currently on the West Coast so they can kind of get an idea of a comparison to your university? So just pop off mute if you have an answer to that one.
I would say some of lots of kids that come to Montana Technological University also look at South Dakota School of Mines and the Colorado School of Mines. I would say some students also, if they're looking specifically just for engineering, will go to Montana State University. So I would say those are some of our biggest like-minded schools.
For me, I would say one that I hear quite frequently is in California, Cal Poly would be something that I get referenced a lot to. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. The next question I want to hear from everybody about is what kind of involvement opportunities do you have on campus for STEM majors? So let's hear some fun things to do. Start it off for us, Patrick.
Yeah, so we have over 65 student organizations on campus, and because we've got such a wide array of programs, our student orgs get pretty diverse. So we have an Aero Club, which is all about aviation, because we have an aviation program. We have a club that's dedicated to 4x4 trucks and big vehicles that students are really interested in working on. But we've also got clubs that are more even focused on like sort of the makerspace initiatives. So we have it's called Society of Inventors and Mad Scientists, or SIMS. We do have a makerspace on campus, which has become a real sort of hotbed of creativity for students to really not only get to know each other, but to work with some mediums and explore some things that are outside of even their immediate degree program. So it's a real way to kind of get that outside the classroom experience. So those are a couple of the more cool clubs that we've got on campus.
Well, thanks, Patrick. I would say with the University of Missouri being a large institution, there's tons of ways to get involved, and that's going to be such an important component of your college experience. So over 600 different clubs and organizations within the whole university as a whole. And then just to kind of break that down, that number might seem a bit intimidating. There's over 50 just in the College of Engineering. So ones that students get really excited about is we have a Formula One car racing team. So students, design and build a car from scratch. There's a Baja racing team, which is more of like a truck tractor style. And then there's an eco car racing team, which is more eco-friendly. Mizzou space program, they build rockets. They get really, really involved in that and do some really cool things. Probably the coolest is our 3D printing organization, run completely by students. They actually partnered with the vet med school at Mizzou and 3D printed a prosthetic foot for one of the students' dogs. So that's kind of like a cool project. So really awesome stuff. More social-based organizations as well. There's a women's sorority. There's Society of Women in Engineering. So plenty of ways to get involved. Kind of the list goes on, but those are kind of ones that students get a little bit more excited about.
This is a lot of fun hearing about all the fun clubs on campuses across the nation. Iowa State is going to have 900 different clubs at our university to get involved with. So we definitely always encourage that one is totally just for fun and that one is related to your major. So that can be a really great resume booster in preparing for what comes after graduating from a university. But if you would like to mention would be, we have WISE, which stands for Women in Science and Engineering. That's a great STEM-based major for all STEM females. It builds a great community for students to get involved with. There's a theme park club for those engineers who want to build roller coasters in the future, which would totally be me. There's a solar car team. They build and design their own solar car and then race it against other university solar cars across the country. We have a tornado simulator on campus. We have 2 different official labs on campus, Ames Lab and a forensic lab for fun opportunities, whether it's a job or just volunteer experience to get to work in a lab as well. So lots of options, but those are just a few.
And thanks, Abby. And I would say we don't have hundreds and hundreds of clubs, but the one nice thing about being on Montana Tech's campus is every fall and spring we do have we have a club rush or anything like that. So that's all of our intramurals, the fun clubs that they talked about. Like some of those would be like inner tube water polo. Like we have bed races every year and things like that you can be a part of, that they race beds down our like humongous hill that our campus is on. We also have those professional and academic clubs. So we have 9 different engineering majors and then an occupational health and safety in our College of Science and Engineering. And they all have different clubs. Like we have also a Baja buggy team is what they call it. So our mechanical engineering team always builds those every year, and then they go race them all across the United States. And they were actually nationally ranked 2 years ago, which was something that was really fun. And a lot of kids got to use that for their senior design project as well. So that was kind of multifaceted. We have Engineers Without Borders, which is actually really cool. So they can go do things like help problems and things. They've gone to Mexico and they've gone, I can't remember where else they went. They went to Puerto Rico, I think 2 years ago. So there's lots of opportunities in that. And then every engineering major has some kind of club that you can be a part of, especially like our bigger ones, like even metallurgical engineering, since it's such a niche type of engineering, which is pretty much material science engineering. Their clubs, they go to really cool places and get to meet really great connections and things like that. I also talk about how great it is to build your resume to outside of those internships and your hands-on experience. So it's something outside of the classroom that can be fun, but still help you build your resume. So.
All right, we have arrived to our final question of the evening. So about a 1-minute answer for this one, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. So the question I want to ask next, you can kind of take it wherever you want, but kind of the general idea is, how long does it typically take to graduate from these majors so students kind of know a timeline? Maybe what are some career potential opportunities, some internship opportunities? Any way you want to take that question. Patrick, if you want to start us.
Yeah, sure. So we have associate degree certificates as well as bachelor's and master's degrees. So that means it could take you 1 year, it could take you 5 years. It really depends on the major that you choose. I'll say most of our students do pursue bachelor's degrees. So if you're looking into those real engineering focused degrees, that's going to take you at least 4 years to complete. Any of the health programs is going to be a little longer because you're probably going to have a clinical rotation component to that as well. As far as internships, we do help you get into those internships through our tight industry connections. Most of our internship opportunities lead into full-time employment, which is great. So you get that relationship with the employer before you even graduate, and then you graduate and have a job. So that's probably one of the best reasons to go into a STEM field is because of the internship opportunities.
Yeah, I would say with Mizzou, getting that hands-on experience through internships and co-ops is very important. We do have a career fair each semester, and about 200 employers come to those career fairs. We actually held it virtually this year, which was really awesome for our students. And it's encouraged that as a freshman, you would start attending things like that, not putting it off until your junior or senior year. Most students graduate in 4 years, but it could be 4.5 if you do decide to take that more co-op, which is basically a longer internship. If you decide to go that route, it could take you a little bit longer, but sometimes students come in with AP or dual credit and they're able to graduate in less than 4 years. So it really is kind of individual between each student. We have students working in different industries, all across the nation. 500 of our current alumni are CEOs and presidents, so that's always something nice to highlight as well. Yeah, anywhere from manufacturing firm, you can be in more of a managerial role, to sales, to software engineer, cybersecurity. We actually partner with Raytheon, which is a cybersecurity company, and students are guaranteed internships throughout their undergrad, and then they're guaranteed a job after graduation. So kind of what Patrick was saying is a lot of these internships that you'll get end up turning into full-time jobs. So they're so important to seek out while you're a student at whatever institution that you attend.
All right, I'm going to keep it quick because of time. Our undergrad engineer majors, you can expect about 4 years. And just echoing everyone else, internships are the way to go, or a co-op. It's going to lead you to so many amazing opportunities. So day one, you start at a university, build those connections, because that's what's going to lead you to your next step. So definitely encourage you with that one. And Suri, you want to wrap us up quick with about 15 seconds.
Yeah, as you guys all reiterated, about 4 years, takes you about 4 years, generally, maybe sometimes a little bit longer. Our course load sometimes can be a little bit over that 120 credits. So sometimes students choose to take some online core classes during the summer, and internships are the most important thing to help you place you in especially such hands-on careers.
All right, with that being said, that wraps us up for this evening. We wish you all well wherever your next step is for you. And Geneva will finish us off for today.
All right, thank you so much to our really lively and well-organized presenters and to all our attendees. Attendees, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd really appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so please be sure to sign up for any additional sessions at college2careerfairsconnect.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at college2careerfairsconnect.org. Thanks so much. Have a great night, everyone.